Welcome to U.S. Mint History, your home for rare, valuable, and hidden treasure coins from the United States. From pocket change worth a fortune to mint errors collectors dream about, we uncover the secrets most people spend without noticing. Stay with us, because the coin you're about to see might be worth far more than you think. So on. Top 1, we're diving into a coin that most Americans have held in their hands at some point, yet very few people realize that one specific version of it can be worth a life-changing amount of money. I'm talking about the United States Washington quarter from 1969. At first glance it looks like ordinary pocket change, but under the right conditions this small silver-colored coin can turn into one of the most exciting modern discoveries in American numismatics. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin features Washington's dignified profile on the front, a symbol of leadership and the birth of a nation. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and olive branches, representing both strength and peace. By 1969, these quarters were already part of everyday American life, jingling in cash registers, vending machines, and pockets across the country. Now here's where things get interesting. In 1965 the United States removed silver from circulating quarters and switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition. That means every normal 1969 quarter should be made of layered copper and nickel, not silver. But in extremely rare cases, something extraordinary happened at the mint. A few 1969 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from earlier years. These error coins look similar at first, but they lack the copper edge you normally see on clad quarters and they have the distinctive weight and ring of silver. This kind of mint error is the stuff of legend among collectors. Imagine a coin that was never supposed to exist, created by a mistake during the minting process and released into circulation without anyone noticing. That's exactly what makes the rare silver-struck 1969 Washington quarter so fascinating. It represents a transitional moment in U.S. coinage history and a genuine minting anomaly. Condition plays a massive role in value. Most quarters from 1969 are heavily worn because they were used daily for decades. But a coin that somehow escaped circulation and remained in pristine, uncirculated condition becomes exponentially more desirable. When you combine an already rare mint error with a high-grade state of preservation, you get a coin that collectors will compete fiercely to own. There are also other errors that add to the excitement of searching through 1969 quarters. Off-center strikes, double dies, and wrong planchet errors can all increase a coin's desirability. A dramatic off-center strike where part of the design is missing tells a visual story of the minting process going wrong. Double die varieties show noticeable doubling in the lettering or date, something that sharp-eyed collectors love to hunt for. Each error transforms an ordinary coin into a one-of-a-kind artifact. What makes this even more thrilling is that many people still have jars of old quarters at home. That means the possibility, however small, still exists that one of these rare pieces could be hiding in plain sight. Coin roll hunters and collectors carefully check the edges, the weight, and the strike quality of every 1969 quarter they find, hoping to uncover that elusive silver error or a high-grade specimen. The historical context adds another layer of charm. The late 1960s were a time of change in America, and the transition from silver to clad coinage marked the end of an era in everyday money. Owning a rare 1969 quarter error is like holding a physical reminder of that turning point in U.S. monetary history. So, what should you look for if you want to join the hunt? First, check the edge. A solid silver-colored edge without the copper stripe is a major clue. Second, weigh the coin. A silver quarter will weigh more than a clad one. Third, examine the details under good lighting for any signs of doubling or unusual striking patterns. And finally, never clean your coin, because cleaning can destroy the very value collectors are looking for. This is the kind of treasure hunt that makes coin collecting so addictive. You're not just collecting metal discs, you're searching for hidden history, minting mysteries, and once-in-a-lifetime discoveries. The idea that a simple quarter could be worth more than a luxury car or even a house is what keeps collectors checking their change day after day. And now for the moment everyone has been waiting for. A rare 1969 Washington quarter struck on a silver planchet and preserved in exceptional condition has reached an astonishing value of $94,000. Top 2. We're talking about the United States Washington quarter from 1967, a coin that millions of people used every day, yet a few rare examples have become legendary in the world of coin collecting. The Washington quarter had already been circulating for decades by 1967, carrying the familiar portrait of George Washington on the front and the proud eagle on the back. But the 1960s were a time of major change for American coinage. Just 2 years earlier, the United States removed silver from quarters and replaced it with a copper-nickel-clad composition. Because of coin shortages, the mint also removed mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967, which makes identifying special pieces even more challenging and exciting for collectors. At first glance, every 1967 quarter looks the same. But hidden among the billions produced are a few extraordinary errors and unusual strikes that have captured the attention of serious numismatists. One of the most famous possibilities is a quarter struck on the wrong planchet. During the transition away from silver, a small number of leftover silver blanks were still in the minting system. If a 1967 quarter was accidentally struck on one of those silver planchets, it would have the appearance, weight, and sound of a pre-1965 silver coin while still carrying the 1967 date. That kind of transitional error is incredibly rare and highly valuable. Collectors also search for dramatic off-center strikes from 1967. When a coin is struck off-center, part of the design is missing and the blank area creates a bold, eye-catching error. The more dramatic the shift, while still showing the full date, the more desirable the coin becomes. Then there are double die varieties, where the lettering or numbers appear slightly duplicated because of a misalignment in the die. These double details can sometimes be seen in the word Liberty or in the date itself, and sharp-eyed collectors spend hours examining their coins under magnification hoping to find one. Condition is everything when it comes to value. Most 1967 quarters are worn smooth from decades of use, but a coin that has never entered circulation, with crisp details and original mint luster, is far more desirable. When a rare mint error is found in uncirculated condition, it becomes a centerpiece item for advanced collections. Another factor that makes the 1967 quarter fascinating is the absence of mint marks. Because no mint marks were used that year, collectors cannot immediately tell where the coin was produced. This adds an extra layer of mystery and forces collectors to rely purely on physical characteristics like weight, metal composition, strike quality, and surface preservation to identify something special. The thrill of this coin lies in the hunt. Jars of old change, inherited coin collections, and bank rolls of quarters could still contain undiscovered treasures. Many collectors carefully check the edge of each 1967 quarter, looking for that solid silver color instead of the copper stripe that appears on normal clad coins. They listen to the ring of the coin when gently tapped, and they weigh it to see if it matches the heavier silver standard. Each small test brings the possibility of an extraordinary discovery. This is why the 1967 Washington quarter has become a favorite topic among modern coin hunters. It represents a moment of transition in American history, a time when the country moved away from precious metal coinage, and in that transition a few mistakes created coins that were never meant to exist. Those mistakes are now the treasures collectors dream about. Top 3. We're exploring the United States Washington quarter from 1981, a coin that most people overlook but one that has become a serious target for collectors who know exactly what to look for. By 1981, the Washington quarter had been part of daily American life for nearly 50 years. The familiar portrait of George Washington still appeared on the front, calm and confident, while the reverse displayed the powerful eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch. These coins were struck for circulation at a time when America was moving through economic change, and millions of quarters were produced for everyday use. Because of that, most people assume the 1981 quarter is common and holds no special value. But that assumption is exactly what makes the rare version so exciting. The key to the 1981 quarters collector appeal lies in condition and mint varieties. Unlike earlier decades, far fewer high-quality uncirculated rolls were saved from 1981, especially from the Philadelphia Mint. That means finding a sharply struck, fully lustrous example today is much harder than people expect. Coins that show strong detail in Washington's hair, clear lettering, and clean fields without marks are considered premium pieces and can command strong prices when professionally graded, but condition alone isn't the whole story. The real excitement begins with mint errors and variety coins. Some 1981 quarters exhibit double die characteristics, where parts of the lettering or date show noticeable doubling caused by a misalignment during die creation. Collectors carefully study the words Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as the date, searching for that telltale separation in the design that signals a true double die. Off-center strikes are another dramatic error that can turn an ordinary quarter into a highly desirable collectible. When the coin is not properly aligned during the strike, part of the design is missing, creating a crescent-shaped blank area. If the date remains visible and the error is visually bold, collectors value these pieces far above normal coins. There are also cases of wrong planchet errors, where a quarter is accidentally struck on a blank intended for another denomination. These pieces often have unusual weight, color, and size, instantly standing out to experienced collectors. Because such mistakes are extremely rare, they become headline items whenever they appear at auction point. One of the most talked about aspects of the 1981 quarter is how difficult it is to find in top mint state grades. Many coins from this year were poorly struck or heavily marked, so examples that achieve very high grades from professional grading services become condition rarities. When a coin combines an exceptional strike, blazing original luster, and virtually no surface marks, it becomes a standout piece that advanced collectors compete to own. The thrill for coin hunters is that these quarters are still out there. They can appear in old bank rolls, inherited collections, or even in circulation. That means anyone with patience and a careful eye can search for high-grade examples or error coins. Checking the edges, studying the details under magnification, and comparing the weight to standard specifications are all part of the hunt. Every coin examined brings the possibility of discovering something extraordinary. This is what makes the 1981 Washington quarter so fascinating. It represents a modern coin that most people ignore, yet within that ordinary appearance lies the potential for rare varieties, minting mistakes, and condition rarities that can transform it into a centerpiece of a collection. Top 4. We're diving into one of the most surprising modern coins in American circulation history, the United States Washington quarter from 1985. By the mid-1980s, the Washington quarter had become one of the most recognized coins in the world. The familiar portrait of George Washington on the front symbolized stability and tradition, while the eagle on the reverse represented strength and national pride. These coins were produced in large numbers for everyday commerce, and millions of them passed through countless hands, vending machines, and cash registers. Because of that, most people assume the 1985 quarter is extremely common and has no special value. But as every serious collector knows, rarity is not always about mintage numbers. It's about survival, condition, and minting mistakes. One of the biggest challenges with the 1985 quarter is finding it in true uncirculated condition. Many coins from this year were weakly struck, heavily marked, or quickly entered circulation. That means pristine examples with sharp details, smooth surfaces, and original mint luster are much harder to find than you might expect. When a coin from this year is graded at the very highest levels, it becomes a condition rarity, and collectors are willing to compete fiercely for it. Then come the mint errors, the real treasures that turn an ordinary coin into a headline discovery. Off-center strikes are among the most visually dramatic. When the blank planchet is not properly aligned during the strike, part of the design is missing, leaving a bold curved blank area. If the date remains visible and the error is significant, the coin becomes instantly desirable. Double die varieties are another exciting possibility. These occur when the die used to strike the coin has a slight misalignment during its creation, causing the design elements to appear doubled. Collectors examine the lettering in Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date under magnification, searching for clear separation that confirms a true double die. Even subtle doubling can make a coin stand out to specialists. There are also wrong planchet errors, where a quarter is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination. These coins often have unusual color, weight, or size, and they immediately capture attention because they were never meant to exist. Errors like these are extremely rare and are considered major prizes when discovered. Another factor that adds to the mystery of the 1985 quarter is how overlooked it has been for decades. While collectors saved rolls from some earlier years, fewer people set aside high-quality examples from the mid-1980s. That means today's top-grade coins are much scarcer than their original mintage would suggest. When one appears with exceptional strike quality, blazing luster, and virtually no contact marks, it becomes a centerpiece coin. For coin hunters, the excitement comes from the fact that these quarters can still be found in old collections, bank rolls, and even circulation. Checking each coin carefully, studying the edge, the fields, and the fine details of Washington's hair can reveal whether a coin is ordinary or something special. The thrill of possibly discovering a rare error or a top-condition rarity keeps collectors searching day after day. This is the magic of modern coin collecting. It proves that valuable treasures are not limited to ancient gold or early silver. Even a coin from the 1980s, something many people remember using, can become an object of fascination and significant value when rarity and condition come together. Top 5. We're taking a deep dive into the United States Washington quarter from 1995, a coin that looks ordinary yet has become a fascinating target for serious coin hunters. By 1995, the Washington quarter had already become one of the longest-running designs in American history. The familiar portrait of George Washington on the front represents the foundation of the nation, while the eagle on the reverse symbolizes strength and unity. These quarters were produced in large numbers and used heavily in everyday transactions, which is exactly why finding a high-quality example today is far more difficult than most people expect. Condition plays a huge role in the value of this coin. Many 1995 quarters were quickly circulated, picking up scratches, dull surfaces, and worn details. A coin that still shows sharp hair detail on Washington, clean fields, and bright original mint luster is considered a premium piece. When one of these coins is preserved in near-perfect condition and professionally graded at the highest levels, it becomes a true condition rarity that collectors compete to own, but the real excitement begins with mint errors and varieties. Double die coins are among the most sought after. This happens when the die used to strike the coin is slightly misaligned during production, creating visible doubling in the lettering or the date. Collectors carefully examine Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the numbers in the date under magnification, hoping to spot that clear separation that confirms a genuine double die. Off-center strikes are another dramatic error that can transform an ordinary quarter into a highly desirable collectible. When the planchet is not properly aligned during the strike, part of the design is missing, leaving a bold curved blank area. The more dramatic the error while still showing the full date, the more valuable the coin becomes. There are also rare wrong planchet errors where a quarter is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination. These coins immediately stand out because of their unusual weight, color, or size. Since they were never meant to exist, they are considered major mint mistakes and are extremely popular among collectors. What makes the 1995 quarter especially exciting is that it is still modern enough to be found in circulation. That means the hunt is still alive. Coin roll hunters search through bank rolls, old jars of change, and inherited collections, examining each coin carefully for signs of high-grade preservation or unusual features. Every quarter checked brings the possibility of discovering something extraordinary. Another factor that adds to the appeal is that fewer pristine rolls from this year were saved compared to earlier decades. That means top-grade examples with flawless surfaces and strong strikes are much scarcer than their original mintage numbers suggest. When one appears with exceptional quality, it quickly becomes a centerpiece for advanced collections. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting. It turns everyday objects into historical artifacts and potential treasures. A simple quarter that once bought a snack or a bus ride can, under the right circumstances, become a prized collectible worth thousands. So the next time you come across a 1995 Washington quarter, don't rush to spend it. Take a closer look at the details, check for doubling, study the alignment, and appreciate the craftsmanship behind the design. That small piece of metal could hold a hidden story and a surprising value waiting to be discovered. And now for the number that shows just how powerful that discovery can be. A rare high-grade 1995 Washington quarter with a significant mint error has reached an incredible value of $77,000.